Welcome to this month's Supply Chain Tech Insights. Hello, I'm Randy McClure, your tech advisor and an independent voice in the supply chain industry. This month's tech topics include AI machine vision, digital identity tech, business automation, AI remake, data-driven decision-making mastering, the shipping data lifecycle, poor operational definitions, and unlocking 360-degree shipment visibility.
So here's the thing. We're living in this amazing age of tech, right? We've got AI, IoT, all this real-time data. But when it comes to our supply chains, it feels like we're still kind of in the dark. We're gathering more data than ever before, but are we actually seeing anything more clearly? It's a huge paradox. And that's exactly what we're going to dig into today. This quote just hits the nail on the head. I mean, seriously, where's my stuff? It sounds so simple, but for so many businesses, it's this constant, frustrating game. And it's kind of crazy, right? We spend all this money on fancy tech and we still can't get a straight answer. It's more than just an annoyance. It points to something fundamentally broken. And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? Think about it. We have cars that drive themselves, AI that can write a sonnet, but ask about a pallet of widgets going from Chicago to Dallas, suddenly it's a huge mystery. So why? Why, with all this incredible technology at our fingertips, is the supply chain still this massive black box? Well, let's crack it open. To get why this is happening, you have to picture the environment we're all working in. It's not some clean, clear map. It's a fog, a digital fog of war. We are just bombarded with conflicting signals from all these different disconnected systems. It's pure chaos. And this is the absolute core of the paradox. We're literally drowning in data. Drowning, but at the same time, we're starving for clarity. It makes no sense. What we're left with are these little digital breadcrumbs. You get an alert here, a report there, an update from a carrier over here. Each one is a tiny piece of the puzzle, but they don't fit together. So what happens? People end up making big decisions based on a tiny slice of the picture, and that leads to some really expensive mistakes. So now we're going to look at the two core disconnects. And here's the kicker. The problem isn't the technology. I mean, the tech itself is fine. It does its job. The real issue is much, much deeper. It really boils down to two huge disconnects that are basically poisoning the well for our entire data foundation. Okay, disconnect number one, the language disconnect. And this one's a biggie. We all think we're speaking the same language, but we're not even close. A dictionary definition, it's fuzzy, it's vague, but an operational definition, that's sharp, it's precise. You can actually measure it. So if your finance team thinks delivered means one thing and your carrier thinks it means something else, you don't have a tech problem, you have a language problem. And you know who figured this out ages ago? The legend himself, W. Edwards Deming. He said an operational definition gives communicable meaning by saying exactly how you measure something. And that's the magic word right there, measured. It's not about what you think a word means, it's about how you can prove it. If you don't have that, you're all just talking in circles. And this is the perfect analogy for what happens next. It's like that old story of the blind man and the elephant. You know the one, right? One guy grabs the leg and shouts, "It's a tree." Another feels the trunk and says, "No, it's a snake." They're both kind of right, but they're both totally wrong. It's the exact same thing with a simple word like shipped. Does that mean the label was printed, the truck left the dock, the carrier scanned it? Without one single shared definition, you've got a bunch of people describing different parts of the elephant, and nobody has any idea what the whole thing actually looks like. Okay, so that brings us to the second big problem, the data disconnect. So much critical information just gets locked away in these digital silos. Think about it. The data you use for your forecast, it lives in one place. The planning data, that's somewhere else entirely. And then you've got execution, settlement, analysis. They're all in their own little worlds, using different data, and half the time they're telling completely different stories. It's a mess. All right, next up, a blueprint for clarity. So we've laid out the problems, right? We've got a language disconnect and a data disconnect. It sounds pretty bad, but here's the good news. This is fixable. There's actually a blueprint we can follow to build a real foundation for clarity. And this is it, the Intelligent Shipping Data Framework. It's basically a 5-step process that brings the entire shipping journey together. Instead of having all these separate, isolated stages, this creates one continuous loop of information. You see how it works? You start with forecasting, then planning, execution, settlement, and then, crucially, post-analysis. And the insights from that? They feed right back into the next forecast. It's a cycle. It finally connects all the dots. So you're probably asking, okay, but how do you actually connect all that stuff? And this is the secret sauce. It's called the Transport Unit ID or 2UID. The best way to think about it is like a digital birth certificate for every single shipment. It's one unique ID that gets assigned right at the beginning and then sticks with that load through its entire journey. Every scan, every document, every update gets tied to that one ID. It's the missing link. It's what turns all those random breadcrumbs into a single coherent story. All right, so from guessing to seeing, what happens when you actually do this? When you build that solid foundation with clear language and connected data? Well, everything changes. We finally get to stop guessing and start seeing. This is when all that cool tech we have can finally live up to its promise. Take something like AI machine vision. Before, it was just trying to make sense of messy, vague data. But now it can look at an actual picture of a pallet being loaded onto a truck and give you undeniable, picture perfect proof of exactly what happened, where it happened, and when. And just look at the difference this makes. The level of clarity is night and day. This is what the AI can create from that visual proof. It's not some educated guess. It's a precise, structured piece of data. Pallet 12345 loaded onto truck ABC at dock 7, and so on. There's no room for interpretation. Everybody and every system knows exactly what that means. That's what happens when you bring an operational definition to life with technology. But wait, it gets even better. Because with data this clean, you can unlock a whole new level of automation. Just imagine, you could have an AI agent that sees a damaged pallet getting loaded, and before any human even notices, that agent has already flagged the problem, ordered a replacement, and notified the customer. I mean, that sounds like science fiction, but it's not. It's what becomes possible the second your data is built on solid ground. Okay, let's start to wrap this up. Building on solid ground. So, what's the big takeaway here? It's really easy to get distracted by shiny new technology, right? But real, lasting innovation, that starts with getting the foundation right. It's all about building on solid ground. You know, the computing pioneer Grace Hopper said it best: one accurate measurement is worth 1,000 expert opinions. And that just says it all, doesn't it? You can have all the experts and all the fancy algorithms you want, but if they're running on bad, messy data, they're useless. One single, accurate, well defined measurement is worth more than all of it. So if you remember one thing from all this, let it be this: technology is not the solution, it's the tool. We have to stop chasing the next piece of tech and start fixing the foundation. The AI, the control towers, they're incredible tools for sure. But the real power, the thing that actually gives you clarity, is building them on a foundation of clear, connected data that everyone agrees on. And that really just leaves us with one last big question, a question for you to take back with you. I want you to really think about your own operations. The next time you ask that simple question, where's my stuff? What kind of answer do you get? Is it clear? Is it measurable? Is it one single trusted answer? Or is it just a handful of digital breadcrumbs? Because your answer to that question will tell you everything you need to know. It'll tell you if you're building on a solid foundation or if you're just standing on digital quicksand.
Hello, this is Randy McClure from SC Tech Insights. Thank you for listening. For more on this topic, click the article link below or go to www.sctechinsights.com for the latest insights on supply chain technology. Thank you and see you next time.